Before I start explaining what Matthew, Tim, and some other people have done towards me, I want to tell you a sort of backstory, so that you know what I am talking about in this video. I just want to inform you that I am using the 365 days calendar. As you know, I have already mentioned two names, Matthew Patrick being the one that you probably most likely know who is, and Tim, which you probably have no idea who is. So basically me, using an account that has the word cat in it, Tim, and two other people named Lulu and Fran, were in a group. Obviously, I'm not using Lulu, Fran, and Tim's real names, but rather the nicknames that they gave each other. That is somewhat similar to the usernames, but not so similar that you can find them. For me, it's another story. I can't use the nickname that they gave me because of the proof that I have gathered. That proof is linked to me having the word cat in my account, and me giving you the information that I have the word cat in my account, plus that nickname that they gave me. It's going to be very easy for someone to find my account, and I don't want that. I'm therefore going to call myself Cat. We met through a Five Nights at Freddy's role-playing game that was on Roblox. I role-played Henry Emily, Tim role-played William Ofton, Lulu role-played Charlie Emily, other times a weird fox thingy named Mango, and also William Ofton sometimes too, and Fran role-played a guy named Noah. We started chatting on Roblox, until Tim suggested that we could chat on Discord, as it is easier to chat on there, because Discord doesn't have tags, like Roblox has. We started chatting on Discord, and still role-playing in that game on Roblox sometimes of course. Until one day on March the 29th, in 2020, a fight broke out, and we basically split up. Me and Lulu on one side, and Tim and Fran on the other side. I blocked Tim and Fran after that fight. However, Lulu was still friends with Tim and Fran, and at the end Lulu managed to convince me to unblock them and join back. To be honest, looking back at that moment, I wish I just left them, and never ever came back again. Continuing, we became friends again I guess. However, another fight happened on April the 4th, some days after the first fight, and we separated again. I blocked him and Fran again. Fast forward to August, still in 2020, me and Lulu sent friend requests to Fran and Tim, because we missed the group, and we wanted the group back. However, none of them answered until November, where only Tim answers, although Tim manages to get contact with Fran, and the group is back once again. It didn't really last for long though, because on November the 30th, I left the group one last time, because they treated me like trash. I blocked everyone, including Lulu this time. I really thought that on that day, I would never ever see Tim again, but I guess I was wrong, because he had other plans. Now imagine it being December 12th in 2020. I want to peacefully role-play with Five Nights at Freddy's characters, but I don't want to bump into Lulu, Fran, or Tim. So, I tried to find a new Five Nights at Freddy's roleplay game on Roblox. I eventually find one that I like called Blockbears Roleplay. I roleplay there for a while. Nothing weird happens, until I see in chat someone having the roleplay name as Tim. I think nothing really of it, because it's just a name, however I was a bit suspicious of it. After that, I go to the main room, where the stage for Freddy, Bonnie, and Chica is located. Suddenly, this Tim guy comes up to me, and starts talking to me, and asks me to be his dad, because he was role-playing as a little kid, and I was role-playing as a ghost Henry Emily. I sadly don't have any proof of that though. This was at the beginning of the stalking. He eventually created an account that I am going to call John, and he pretended that he was another person. We met in the Blockbears roleplay game on Roblox, and after role-playing with him for a while, he sent a friend request to me, and we became friends. I knew that John was suspicious for being Tim, because he kinda came straight forward, and tried to be friends with me. At this time, I found him suspicious, but it still wasn't enough. When I started talking to him on Roblox, he asked me if I had Discord, which I replied yes to, and then we became friends on Discord, and started talking on there. This all happened in January. When we started talking, I noticed that he liked and talked about the same things as Tim did. Like Country Humans, Hitler, or Five Nights at Freddy's of course, since I met him in a Five Nights at Freddy's roleplay game. Now, I was even more suspicious over that this was Tim, so I exposed him, and said that I knew that he was Tim. He denied of course, and after that, I remember that he sent me a recording of him saying my username on Discord. I still didn't fully believe that he was not Tim, because I suspected that he used a voice changer when he sent me that recording, which was coincidentally popular at that time. However, neither was I 100% sure that this was Tim. I can't really remember what happened after that. Remember, this happened in January in 2021, which is a long time ago. I'm pretty sure that you can't remember every single detail that happened on Easter in 2021, or another important holiday that you are celebrating near January in 2021. I was still friends with John after that happened. 1 or 2 days after that happened, something weird happened on January 29th still in 2021. I was talking to John, and just said that I wanted a hug. He then responded with, "You're creeping me out." And then he suddenly blocked me, as you can see in this picture. You can clearly see that he didn't block me just because I was creeping him out. There must have been another reason. He must have blocked me because either one, he gave up on being John because he knew that I was very suspicious that he was Tim, or 2. He blocked me because he wanted attention and wanted to see me chase after him. Like, do you expect me to chase after someone that I have only known for a month, and that I was suspicious of for being a guy that I have previously been friends with, that I now dislike? About 2 days after, on January 31st, I saw someone named something similar to Destiny, who was acting suspicious. I had seen Destiny join me before the 31st of January, however the reason why I am bringing up exactly the 31st of January is because, first of all, it was the first day where I got proof of Destiny stalking me, and second of all, if you look at the picture that I took that day, you can see that Destiny's friend, who we are going to call Lake, is calling Destiny, Timmy. Here is proof that Lake is Destiny's friend on Roblox. The name Timmy is similar to the name Tim. This didn't just happen one time, but 2 times the same day. You can clearly see that Destiny wasn't role-playing as someone named Timmy, and Destiny's name on Roblox had nothing to do with the name Timmy. This basically screams that this is Tim. There were multiple times over multiple days where I would see Destiny joining the server where I was in, after I had joined. One time, I remember I saw that Destiny was in a server, before I had joined. I discovered that, because I usually looked over the servers before I joined any, to see if anyone had a suspicious avatar similar to Tim, or an avatar similar to a cat so that I could ignore that person, and join another server. When I saw Destiny's avatar in one server, I decided to join another server to roleplay in. After I had done that, I saw that Destiny suddenly joined the server with a friend that I was in. Wow, what a coincidence. I suddenly don't have any proof of this, but it's not like I could predict that Destiny was going to join the other server that I was in, with a friend. John eventually refriended me again somewhere in February, still in 2021, and we started role-playing with each other again. The reason why I accepted the friend request was because I was less suspicious that John was Tim now, because I just witnessed Destiny stalking me, and all that other suspicious stuff that happened with Destiny. I wish I could go back in time and tell myself, if Tim really is only Destiny, and not John also, then why did you never see Destiny and John in the same roleplay server? Actually, you didn't see John at all, cause if John really was a real person, then you would have eventually bumped into him when roleplaying, even though you weren't friends anymore in between January 29th and somewhere in February. Now we have come to March 1st, me and John are talking to each other like normal. Until he sends me a link to a video. I remember that I hesitated at first, and I didn't click on the link. I had this weird gut feeling that I shouldn't click on the link. John then told me suddenly to watch the video, and you can even see that he was desperate for me to click on the link, because he wrote watch so quickly, that he misspelled it. I then said, that is what I am doing, and I waited some minutes to make it seem like I had watched the video. Although, John sent me a link to another video that I remember was about a fast food restaurant, or something like that. I clicked on the link, and instead of it teleporting me to YouTube, it teleported me to a YouTube website on Safari. I thought that was a little weird, but I didn't really think much of it. The video lasted for about 15 minutes or so, and I also clicked on the first link too, because curiosity got the better of me. I don't know why I clicked on the link, maybe I thought that Tim could never be a hacker, or something like that. It's so easy to just click on things without thinking, because you know that it is just one click away. So please, hear my story, and think one more time before you click on anything. Ask yourself if you trust this person, and if you think it is safe to click on it. It is better to hesitate, and not click on it, and lose your chance to win $1 million or something like that, than to click on it, and basically have a higher chance that it was a scam, than it was not a scam. I honestly regret so much for clicking on that link, but what is done, is done. I actually thought at first that I didn't have screenshots of Tim sending me the first link. However, the thing is, I have a server on Discord, where I have channels named for example, Proof 1, where I have screenshots of whenever I thought that Tim joined me, or a channel named Episode, where I am writing what episode I have come to in each series. I actually also started to write the script in that server. However, that's not my point. My point is that I added a person in this server that may, or may not, help me with the script. Because of that, I had to make some channels private. When I looked over a channel named Discord Glitching, I saw 2 screenshots of John's chat, and to my surprise, it was actually 2 screenshots of when Tim sent me the first link. If Discord wouldn't have glitched on that exact moment, I wouldn't have had proof that Tim sent me one of the links in the first place. Although, I am suspecting that the reason why Discord glitched on that exact moment was because of the link that Tim sent me. I am actually not 100% sure if the link that is in that picture is even the first one. There is a chance that it is the second one. However, I am more sure that it is the first one, which is why I wrote that it was the first link, and I will also continue to call it the first link. You may be wondering what those links did, and why I am claiming that they were so bad to click on. Well, I believe I know the answer now. What at least one of the links did is that it hacked my old iPad so that John could get inside of my iPad's system and basically watch whatever I was doing on my iPad. The reason to why I am calling it my old iPad is because I had a different iPad back then. I know that John, or should I say Tim, got into my old iPad's system at some point in 2021, and also, I cannot find another point of time in 2021 where this could have happened, except when I was talking to John at that moment. I don't know if both of the links were hacking links, or if only one of them were a hacking link. I actually have a hypothesis that both of the links that John sent me that day were actually hacking links. One for getting inside of my iPad's system, and the other to track my location. The reason to why I think this is because having one link that can get into your system and track your exact location seems a bit unrealistic to me. I also believe that one of the links were a Grabify link. More specifically, the first link, which is also the one that I have a picture of. What a Grabify link does is that it can give information to whoever created that link. That information includes what date and time you clicked on the link, your IP address, which country you are in currently, and also which city, what browser you're using, what operating system you're using, user agent, referring URL, host name, and ISP. The person that created that link can also make the link custom. This means that they can basically call the link whatever they want. I assume that Tim used my IP address to get into my old iPad, which means that he could now see what I was doing on my old iPad. The thing is, a Grabify link doesn't get your exact location. Sure, it gets your country and city, but do you think that Tim really would make someone check every single house in that city? I don't think so, which is why I think that the second link was also a hacking link, with its purpose being to track my exact location. That, or he found my exact location by clicking on the map app on my old iPad, and then clicking on my position in the map app. Although, I'm not sure if he can find my location by doing that, and neither can I find any information about that. I don't know when, but between March 1st and March 9th, I remember that John randomly changed his Roblox account. He basically told me to friend him on Roblox again, but with his new account. The new account was almost named the same as his old account, except an underscore was missing. He never really told me why he made a new account, neither did I ask. However, I believe that the reason why he made a new account was to remove any evidence that we talked to each other, and mostly about what we talked to each other. Because now, if I search for his old account on Roblox, it doesn't show up anywhere, meaning that he deleted it. On March 7, 2021, I was shopping with my mom in a food store, because we needed some ingredients to make something. While we were shopping, a person suddenly started following us. We were walking towards the cheese and ham section, and the person followed behind us. We took some ingredients, and left the area. I looked back, and got a good look of the person. They were getting something from where we just took something. I can unfortunately not describe the person, due to legal reasons. I remember that they were smiling weirdly. We went somewhere else to go get some stuff. The person didn't really follow us there. When we were done, we walked to the checkout. Suddenly, the person came right behind us. I felt that someone was behind me, so I looked behind, and pretended to look at something else, then at the person. They were still smiling weirdly, and were only carrying one or two things. When we were done at the checkout, we walked out of the exit, and to the car. I saw the person one last time walking away from the store, smiling weirdly again. I can't remember if they walked away, or got to their car, but since I can't remember any description of a car, then that must mean that they just walked away. I know that it happened on March 7th, because I have picture proof later, that evening of me being done making the thing that we shopped ingredients for. I think that the reason to how Tim could see our location was because my mom had her phone with her. Me and my mom basically share the same Apple ID, so I believe that's how he knew where we were. We didn't talk to each other for days after he sent me those links. In between that time, I sent a friend request to Tim on March 9, 2021, to confront him about the stalking. Here is proof that this is Tim that I am talking to, because I call him Tim here. If you're wondering why my profile picture is suddenly gray, and won't load properly, I believe it has something to do with the fact that my iPad started getting full on the storage when I took pictures from Discord. You can read these messages yourself, but basically I say that I know that he is Destiny, which he denies of course. He weirdly asks me weird questions. He wants to give me the illusion that he is cooperating, and he tries to convince me that he isn't Destiny, but that didn't work on me. Continuing, he asks me for picture proof, which I provide. I believe that if I didn't have proof, he would have used that against me, and said that I was lying, but fortunately I had proof. He also weirdly asked me if I was still talking with Lulu, which by the way had nothing to do with what we were talking about at that moment. I say yes, because I had refriended Lulu at that time. He replies, "What game is this?" I told him that he is probably also John. He tells me that he only roleplays in the old roleplay anime game on Roblox, which is also the one that we used to roleplay in. However, he weirdly tells me too much information, and says that he also roleplays MH, which is short for My Hero Academia. I didn't need that information, he just needed to say that he doesn't roleplay in the blockbears roleplay game. I say to him that I won't believe him, unless he gives me proof. He gives me 2 pictures as proof. I can't show the 2 pictures that John sent me, because I don't really own those 2 pictures. I noticed that he had recently roleplayed with Country Humans, which is one of the things that John liked. And also, he didn't mention that he roleplayed Country Humans too. He just said the old Five Nights at Freddy's roleplay game and My Hero Academia. Although, he probably most likely quickly clicked on a bunch of games on Roblox, so that I wouldn't see that he has recently played blockbears. The last suspicious thing is the fact that he kept the name hidden. He never really told me why he wanted to hide the username. I wish I had asked him to at least show me the first letter of the username, so that I could see if it was suspicious. After I told him, "So you are John," he denies, and weirdly tells me to send a link. I don't know what would have happened if I actually had sent the link. Maybe he could have hacked into my Roblox account. I'm not sure. Also, you can see in the picture that he is controlling, because he says, "Send it." Which is a red flag. I tell him that it literally says that he played Country Humans, which if you remember, is one of the things that John liked. Another thing is the fact that his name had the word titler in it at that time. We all know who the name really is supposed to be, and it is also another thing that John liked. I don't really have proof that John liked Country Humans and you know who, but I am still mentioning this just in case I get the chats with John back. I say to Tim that John talked about you know who and Country Humans. He says that he doesn't remember that in the movie that he mentioned, and he must have referred to a guy named John in that movie. It's weird how he tries to make it seem like he doesn't know who John is, and that he thinks that he is the guy from the movie. This doesn't make any sense, since he recognized John as an account like 1 minute ago. He tells me again to send a link, which I deny to. He gets mad, because I won't send him a link, and he says that he doesn't have to prove anything. I say that John's account is on Roblox, and I also tell him why I don't want to send a link. He sends me a picture of John's account, and just says to never talk to him again. He weirdly says that he is leaving to go roleplay, as if he was inviting me to roleplay with him, and I say bye. I obviously didn't try to join him in roleplaying with him after that, and I also blocked him, since he wasn't cooperating. I don't know when me and John stopped being friends, but I know that it must have been after March 9th. The reason to why I think that is because, when I contacted Tim on March 9th I said that I know that he is Destiny. My original plan was to confront him about Destiny. However, I also said that day that, you are probably John too. I think that when I was talking to him, I must have realized that he must be John too, although I kinda sound a little unsure, because I didn't say, you are John too, I said, you are probably John too. This is my reasoning to why I think that I unfriended him after March 9th. I am also 100% sure that I blocked his John account on Discord, because I got mad to the fact that Tim was stalking me, and pretended to be another person. I also have a picture memory in my head of all of the accounts that I have blocked, which includes John's account too. However, when I look at the accounts that I have blocked, I cannot find his account anywhere. Remember how I just said a few paragraphs ago that I cannot find John's account on Roblox either? He must have deleted those 2 accounts, which by the way is something someone would do if they were trying to delete evidence that they sent hacking links to somebody else. And also evidence that John gave me his Discord numbers so that I could send a friend request to him, or opposite, that I told John my Discord numbers. You can clearly see where I am going with this. Cause if I went to the police, they would probably ask, where is your evidence? And when they were trying to find evidence that I gave John my Discord, or he gave me his Discord numbers, they would find nothing. I would have said, oh no, that was on his old account. And the police would have probably not believed me. I don't know about you, but it feels like John has sent hacking links to someone before. I'm not trying to accuse him of anything, I'm just saying. I actually have proof of something, which is why I just said what I said just now. However, it isn't quite the time to reveal that yet, because if I would reveal it now, I would have to explain so much, it would be better to just say it after I have explained the story. I have fortunately evidence that John's account on Discord existed, and also evidence of when he sent me one of the hacking links. Not long after Tim had found my location by pretending to be someone else named John, I heard a sound at night on our terrace. It was as if someone had jumped on our terrace. I thought that it was just a cat that had jumped down from a fence and onto the terrace. I took off my headset off of one ear and listened. However, I didn't hear anything else and brushed it off. At least 20 minutes later I heard a knock on my window. It wasn't really a knock though, because it only touched the window one time. I know that the sound came from the window, because my dog reacted to. I looked up at the window, and obviously got suspicious now. I took off my headset from one ear again, but I heard nothing else. I didn't hear any more sounds that night. The next day I let my dog out to relieve herself. However, she started sniffing alongside the wall of the house, where my window was coincidentally. I remembered what had happened the night before I woke up, so I decided to follow my dog. I saw nothing out of the ordinary, We turned a corner where there was a dead end, and she sniffed at that area. I saw nothing out of the ordinary there either. She eventually stopped sniffing and walked away. Since I saw nothing weird or suspicious, I decided to walk back inside. Looking back at this, I wish I had looked more carefully. Maybe I would have found some evidence, or something like that, that proved that this happened. No one was home at that time apart from me and my dog, so no one is really a witness either. I have a suspicion that what happened that night was that, whoever that person was, they must have given Tim access to the internet by hacking it. I found that out later, because when I would search something on Safari, Tim would see it, which I will show proof for later, because I haven't explained yet who Tim really is. I told my parents about the hacked internet, but they never really did anything to get him out of there. The person giving Tim access to the internet by hacking it meant that they had to get close to the house. And no, I don't think that the reason why that person, that Tim sent, was on the terrace, because they needed to get close enough to the internet. I actually think that they could have gotten close enough without climbing on the terrace. I believe that Tim must have sent out that person to do two tasks. One was to hack the internet, and the other was to set up a camera. Yes, a camera. The reason why I think that the person got on the terrace was because they were trying to find a place to set up the camera. I didn't know at that time that Tim had put up a camera to watch me, and I didn't start to suspect it until I started watching videos from the Game Theory, Film Theory, Food Theory, and GT Live channels. I have many reasons to believe that there is a camera set up. First of all, before I left the group, I joked on November 28, 2020 that I was watching Tim, and that I saw him lose a peanut butter smeared loaf of bread on the ground. I believe that this is where he got the idea to set up a camera in the first place. Second of all, remember how Tim had said a few paragraphs ago, when I contacted him about the Stalking with Destiny and John, that he had made a game. Not long after he had told me that he made a game, I curiously joined the game to see what it was about. You can see that I didn't gather proof for that until May 15th in 2022, even though I had joined that game months before that, because I didn't know at that time that I was going to make these videos. The game was a RP game, and RP stands for roleplay. Basically what happened when I joined that game was that I was met with different avatars in the lobby. I can't tell you what kind of avatars there were in the lobby, because then you will maybe find out what the game is called. If you find out what the game is called, then you will see who created that game, which is Tim, and you will find out his username on Roblox, which I can't allow. Continuing, I teleported to the main roleplay area, where I was met with a fast food restaurant building, 3 houses, and a bunch of trees. Notice how one of the things there was a fast food restaurant, which is the one thing that me and John talked about that day, when he sent me those to hacking links. However, that's not the main thing. The main thing is that, I don't know where this camera comes from, but I think that if you go in one of the houses, a camera will start to follow you around everywhere, which is disgusting. The calendar marks the 8th of April 2021 today. I decide to make a new account that we are going to give the nickname Octopus. The reason to why I created this account was because I had enough of the stalking, and I was trying to hide from Tim, as you can see in this screenshot. On April the 8th I also sent messages to all of my friends on Roblox, like what you see in this screenshot, after I made the account. I told them that I was changing my account, and what the name of the account was going to be. I started in the evening, and I didn't finish to send the message to all of my friends until the next day on April 9th, although I was only like max an hour in deep in April 9th. For those of you who don't know, the day switches at exactly 0 o'clock or 12 a.m. For example, if the clock is 23:59 or 11:59 p.m. and it is the 14th of June, then when the clock becomes 0 o'clock or 12 a.m., which is just 1 minute ahead, the day changes to the 15th of June. So when I say max 1 hour, I mean max until the clock was 1 o'clock or 1 a.m. That is the reason why you see that it says the 9th of April longer up on the screenshot. I still roleplayed in blockbears on Roblox, because I knew that if Tim would stalk my old account, he would just see that I was offline, and would therefore have no reason to roleplay in blockbears. He would later maybe assume that I stopped playing Roblox, after not seeing me online for a long period of time, and he would have no way of stalking me, therefore losing interest over time, and stopping to stalk me completely. Despite my attempt to get away from Tim, the stalking still continued. Now that Tim was inside of my iPad, from one of the links, he could spy on me, and join me whenever he saw me role-playing in that game on Roblox, or when he saw me playing Minecraft online, with other people. At this point I didn't really know that Tim was inside of my iPad, and neither did I know that Tim could see some very private stuff. However, I had my suspicions, because I noticed that my battery would drain abnormally a lot sometimes. I still saw Tim making accounts that he would use to stalk me. I knew that many of those accounts belonged to Tim, after April 8th, but also before April 8th, because of the suspicious behavior, like for example being close to me, or even their friend calling them Timmy in chat, even though their Roblox username had absolutely nothing to do with the name Timmy. Another hint that made it very suspicious that this could be one of Tim's stalking accounts was if the name of the account had something similar to the name Tim, or maybe something cat related, because he was trying to mimic me. Here are some screenshots displayed on the screen as evidence to Tim stalking me. When I saw someone that could potentially be Tim stalking me, I would block them and join another server. Sometimes I would stay, but only to gather evidence that this was really Tim. I actually have proof for this, which was actually a weird occurrence, where more than one or two were suspicious for being Tim, so I therefore blocked all of them and left. You may be wondering what I am doing in the old roleplay game. I kinda still preferred to roleplay in that one, and I told myself that if I would witness Lulu, Fran, or Tim, I would leave. I also remember one time, I tried to stalk Tim, because I wanted him to have the taste of his own medicine, and basically get him to see how it feels to be stalked. I remember he was playing Royale High on Roblox, with the Destiny account. I thought that it was a perfect time to make him feel how it is to get stalked. He had on, allow everyone to join, since I could click on the join button. I joined Royale High, and I was in that place where it had a giant park, and a wishing well, where you can get a halo. All I did was just stand there, and see what he was talking to his friends about. It was quite boring actually. I don't even know if he had noticed me, and if he had, it didn't really look like he was bothered by me at all. They eventually teleported away to something else. I didn't follow them, because like I just said, it was boring and Tim wasn't bothered by it, if he even had noticed me in the first place. Therefore I only did it one time, and it ended there. You may ask, what has this to do with Matthew? Trust me, this has everything to do with Matthew. I will tell you soon, in part 2. Somewhere in the summer vacation in 2021, I was traveling with my family with a car, through the country that I live in. We would often stop on camping places, and rent a small cabin to sleep in for one night. Then we would continue our journey longer away from our house, but still in our country. We did this because we didn't really want to go and travel to another country, because of the coronavirus. My parents were renting a small cabin like usual. We were getting ready for bed, until we suddenly hear someone making multiple sounds on one of the cabin walls. I remember that my dad said, "What was that?" in our native language. I believe that this could have been someone who Tim hired to stalk me. I also believe that he got our location the same way that he got me and my mom's location when we went to shop for ingredients, which was by tracking my mom's phone, either that, or he tracked our location by my old hacked iPad, because I had my iPad with me on vacation. Since my family was there, then that means that they are witnesses to this. I don't know when this happened, but I feel like it happened close to in between the summer vacation in 2021 to September 18th, 2021. It could have even happened after September 18th. I decided one day to search up on YouTube why my battery on my old iPad drained sometimes so quickly. I was already suspicious that Tim had hacked into my iPad because I remembered the links that he sent me on March 1st. When I hit enter on YouTube, I got to see many recommended videos. They were all about hacking and stuff, and I eventually clicked on one. In the video, a person explained that a sign of someone having hacked into your device is that your battery will drain very quickly. That's when I found out that Tim had hacked into my old iPad, and that he could basically see everything that I was doing on my iPad. One strange thing though, is that the person in the video didn't mention that your device would also have trouble charging, which mine had. I guess that this must have had something with Tim hacking into my iPad too. I had trouble charging my iPad, and I would put the charger inside of the iPad. If it didn't charge, then I would take it out, and then insert it back inside. I would even take the charger out from my iPad, rotate the charger, and insert it back inside. In the beginning, it wasn't that bad. I would only take the charger back out, and in again, and then it would start charging. However, as months passed, it got worse. I would use minutes taking the charger in and out, and rotating it, just for it to start charging. My mom would buy me many chargers. The new chargers would work just fine in the start like a normal charger, but then it would start to barely not charge again, and my mom would buy me a new one. That went on for a long time, which was basically wasted money on chargers. One day it got really bad, and my dad took a look at it. My dad ended up completely shutting off my iPad by pressing on the power and home buttons, and let it charge that way, while it was completely shut off. I remember that not long after finding that Tim was inside of my iPad, I got uncomfortable with the camera that I had on my old iPad, and I would always turn the camera away from me, while still trying to use my iPad. I therefore decided to put a piece of tape on my iPad's camera. I felt relieved after that, and I still have a piece of tape on my camera, on my new iPad. I took screenshots of my battery percentage history many times, when I thought that it displayed suspicious activity. I can't show you the dates of those screenshots because I would be revealing the date when I got a new iPad, which was on my birthday, and I'm not comfortable in saying my birthday. I actually caught on camera at times of my battery going down while it was charging. I can't really show you the footage, because in one, I accidentally show a song that I was listening to, and the other, I show my hands. I won't edit the footages either, cause then I wouldn't have the originals, and I would get accused of editing the whole to video recordings. However, I can show you screenshots taken from the videos in my camera roll. I also got footage of the same iPad not wanting to charge. We had given my old iPad to my sibling, which we had hard reset. I wasn't suspicious at first on my old iPad still being hacked, however, as time grew, I got more suspicious, because the iPad wouldn't charge again. Here you can see the screenshots of the footage. It wouldn't charge my sibling's iPad, but it would charge my phone. September 6, 2021 I get a warning from my laptop that the Lenovo Wi-Fi security has been deactivated, and that it isn't watching my Wi-Fi anymore. The warning is written in Norwegian, and you can translate it to in Google Translate, if you wish to. I believe that Tim was trying to hack into my laptop. Tim must have tried to gain access to my laptop from the Wi-Fi, because I am 100% sure that I have not clicked on any links. This further proves my suspicion that they have hacked into the Wi-Fi. Continuing, I click on activate again now and I remember that it sent me to settings. I tried to activate the Wi-Fi security, but to no avail. This meant that I was stuck and couldn't get anywhere. I don't know why exactly Tim is stalking me, because that is just straight up weird and traumatizing. Although, I have a feeling that he is stalking me because he wants attention from me. That could be one of the reasons why he is stalking me, or it could just be that reason.